From Epic absolutely roasting themselves to the funniest prank in the game, these are 23 times Fortnite trolled itself. It's no secret that Fortnite isn't as big as it once was, but it's also a stretch to call it dead. Every single day, the developers open social media to find thousands of comments calling it a dead game, and eventually, they grew tired of it. To embrace the joke, they started to work on a skin called Veronica, and of course, the announcement was simply reads comments, designs outfit. Right there on her t-shirt, the words dead game appeared, and now you can walk around insulting Fortnite whenever you want. But Epic really messed up in Chapter 3 when the whole game was suddenly unplayable for a day. Team killing was re-enabled, you can see enemies on the mini-map, and these tires could send anything to space, including the statue of the Foundation. Yep, the tallest POI we've ever had could be used as a weapon, and it became one of the most infamous glitches in Fortnite history. Instead of feeling embarrassed or pretending it never happened, Epic left a tire memorial at the base of the statue. While you couldn't throw them, it was a nice tribute. One of the biggest times Epic trolled themselves was when they lost millions of dollars in an hour thanks to the Among Us collab. Fortnite revealed that you could get the crewmate backblings by purchasing stars in Among Us, but there was one problem: you could buy the pack multiple times. If you already had the backbling, you'd be given V-Bucks instead, and this allowed people to get tens of thousands of V-Bucks for dirt cheap. It was a disaster. It's just like when they designed a secret area that was supposed to have weeks of buildup. This cave was blocked off by a 5 trillion HP rock, and the only way to get inside was working as a community and breaking the stone. Well, it was supposed to be the only way, but Epic made a huge oversight. They didn't test cow catchers on this thing, and when players decided to drive into the rock, it was obliterated in seconds, ruining the entire buildup. It's not total humiliation though. Sometimes Fortnite mocks themselves in wholesome ways. In Chapter 1, people kept joking around and calling the game Fortknife, and Epic loved it so much, they turned it into a POI. At the same time, these food trucks started appearing around the map called Fortknife, and while the POI didn't survive the black hole, these trucks did, and stuck around for years before the island flip. But we really weren't expecting Fortnite to completely bait us in 2021 when Star Wars Day was around the corner. Just a day before May 4th, Mando's jetpack, the E11 blaster, and Ambin sniper rifle appeared in the files. People were convinced Mando's bounty was coming back, and they would finally get the umbrella. This also meant Star Wars skins would be arriving in the item shop as they had every year. But then as the calendar reached May 4th, nothing happened. Mando's bounty was nowhere to be found, and worst of all, the only new item shop skin was Wake Rider. I mean, I guess he kinda looks like a stormtrooper. Either way, Fortnite lost a ton of money doing this, and people were not happy about it after weeks of saving up V-Bucks for this very moment. And their parents weren't happy when Fortnite was exposed for breaking the law over the last 5 years. They never had refund tokens or any method of canceling purchases, which made it way too easy for kids to buy things. Not to mention the item shop has a time limit that gives everyone a huge fear of missing out. The FTC was not happy about this and sued Epic Games for $500 million, the biggest fine they have ever handed out. $245 million of it is given back to the players, while the rest went to the FTC, and that is just insane. If that didn't hurt the public image enough, Epic once got roasted on Twitter by Elon Musk when he posted a fake article of him buying Fortnite and deleting it. It has over 1 million likes, and the response was hilarious, trolling Elon for taking a decade to build a base on Mars. And sadly, he replied, "Reality's hard," and got more likes than them, so while it was funny, Twitter wasn't exactly on their side. Now, I just love the way Epic always acknowledges their own problems. Players have been complaining for years about skins that were announced and then never released. Turns was part of a community choice vote and actually lost, but most people assume he'd come out later, but never seen again. It wasn't until almost exactly 1 year later that he finally appeared, with a secret message acknowledging how long it took. The same happened for Gref G. He was one of the very first Icon series creators to be revealed, then other people kept dropping before him, and nobody knew why. We were starting to think his set was cancelled before he hosted a grand reveal event that broke Twitch records, and as the skin dropped, its description was, "And you thought he'd never get here." That's just like how they released an outfit that made fun of their own lawsuit and gave it to millions of players for free. At the peak of the Epic vs Apple incident, they took the Tart Tycoon outfit straight out of their 1984 parody trailer and put him in the game. You couldn't buy him, you had to earn it, but it's pretty ironic considering iOS players were banned from playing. In the same lawsuit, Epic was screwed over even more when their lawyers published a ton of confidential documents used as evidence. In these files, Fortnite's plans were now public for all to see, and they leaked an entire year's worth of crossovers, designs for upcoming LTMs, and how much money they made from Marvel. Some of the game's biggest reveals, the Rock, Ariana Grande, Naruto were all right there months in advance. One of their longest ever planned weapons is the machine pistol. Let me tell you, this thing has been pranking them for years. It was first accidentally released 4 years ago, and every time Epic has tried to remove it, it somehow keeps coming back by total accident. It wasn't until 11 seasons later they officially added it, and because of the constant leaks, it has been vaulted and unvaulted like 7 times. But it's still not the most confusing item that Fortnite deleted. At the start of Chapter 4, some of the rarest emotes in history were added back to the shop. Mainly Tidy, which was originally removed because of copyright issues with Snoop Dogg. It was pretty much confirmed that this would never come back, but here it was available for purchase. The strangest part was how it was placed next to hippie skins, so the Snoop Dogg reference was pretty on the nose. This is where things took a weird turn. Just an hour later, the item shop updated again, and all evidence of the emote was gone without a trace. And the employees somehow know way too much when talking to their friends. Weeks before it came out, a picture of the Chapter 2 map was leaked on the internet, and because everyone thought Season 11 was next, nobody believed it. The original post is from a guy on Reddit who claimed their Epic employee friend gave it to them, and then it got really weird. As soon as the leak blew up, a random account posted it on Twitter and claimed it was their concept, and the Redditor stole it. Obviously, this is the Chapter 2 map, so it's possible this was an Epic employee undercover trying to do damage control, and that's pretty terrifying when you think about it. As we got closer to Chapter 3 though, there was one mistake that was impossible to cover up. On TikTok, trailers for the end event started to appear as ads way earlier than they were supposed to, leaking the entire finale. It was probably the most devastating event leak we have ever had, and the fact it was a commercial by Epic themselves meant anyone could see it without warning. One of the earliest examples of Fortnite trolling themselves is the disaster of the Infinity Blade. As the first mythic weapon, they had to get it right, and instead it was the worst possible launch, becoming the most broken weapon in history. It wasn't even RNG, this thing spawned at the same location every match, and people could grab it immediately, slaughtering everyone in the area before they had a chance to loot. It forced them to remove the sword and publicly apologize on Twitter, which they don't do very often. They seriously finessed themselves though with the mess surrounding skateboards. It's clearly gone through multiple versions, from roller skates in the files to an abandoned park in the summer update. Now we got grind rails. But the craziest part about this is how you could buy real-life Fortnite skateboards themed around Peely and other designs. It somehow became easier to get a real one than using it in-game, and it's honestly pretty hilarious. They probably would have been as broken as cars, which have a tendency just to fall through the map, and one of the best examples of this was in Chapter 3. To say sorry for causing these guys to die, Fortnite left a tombstone on the map along with a car crash and flowers acknowledging the glitch. They also embraced Jack Graz when he abused the gas station sign to go flying.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
It's probably the furthest anyone has gone that quickly, and Epic recognized how impressive it was, leaving a sign on the map to commemorate the record and apologize for causing it in the first place. But they never acknowledged a hilarious mistake that you can still find in the Fortnite comics to this day. At one point in the story, there's a panel which talks about the robot versus monster fight from Chapter 1, but it doesn't exactly look like the Devourer. Actually, I'm pretty sure it's a regular old T-Rex. Well, it turns out they didn't give the artist enough info to draw him and just asked for a dinosaur or something, and now their story is permanently marked with this because nobody checked. And there was a serious missed opportunity in Season X thanks to the Area 51 meme that dominated the internet. People were planning to Naruto run through the gates, and looking back, it was definitely something. So to cash in on the hype, Fortnite dropped an alien outfit along with a full tilt emote where you could run just like Naruto. Now we actually have Naruto in the game, and they didn't bundle the emote with the collab. In fact, it only came back a month later when the skins had already left the shop. Now we're all very thankful for Fortnite as a whole. It's brought us all together, and the fact that Epic embraces their jokes makes it even more incredible. Although if one employee got their way, none of us would be sitting here right now. Back when Save the World was in development, the director of production wanted to shut it down for good. He didn't think it would go anywhere and was so close to canceling the game before they pivoted and added Battle Royale. Thankfully, it was an immediate hit, and the director moved on to Gears of War. Finally, the most infamous and maybe embarrassing thing Fortnite has ever done became headline news in Chapter 1. A Battle Pass skin was released called Calamity, and for some reason, she was the first outfit to have jiggle physics. People noticed very quickly, and Epic instantly removed it, calling it an embarrassing accident, but I think we all know this was no accident. Some employee had to have animated that. That's all the times Fortnite trolled themselves. It's been Tommy. Keep it here on Top 5 Gaming.